Well, guys, you better get right down to it. It don't matter if they get what they want this time or not. Even if they get what they want, they're still going to go after more control. It's all about control. It always has been, and you better effing wake up to that fact. They want you disarmed. The United Nations wants you disarmed. Look what this guy says here. Congressman warns of political conspiracy to overturn the Second Amendment in its entirety. So do not let these son of a bitches ever convene an Article 5 convention, because they will scrap the Constitution as you know it. Let me tell you something here. If these congressmen, senators, the president, Supreme Court, if they truly believe in their hearts that passing any gun laws would protect people, pass it. But the time that you pass that, I want you to do this. You've got to fire the Secret Service. You've got to fire all your bodyguards. If you truly believe this in your hearts, get rid of all this protection now. Otherwise, leave the damn Constitution alone. We're not stupid, and you're not going to get away with this yet. If these congressmen and senators believe that a law would prevent any crime, then they no longer need bodyguards or Secret Service. Even Bill and Hillary, they don't need Secret Service. They don't need any kind of protection. And neither do all these other losers. Okay, now, that being said, which was the truth, yep. As politicians and anti-gun rights activists continue to chant, "We don't want to take your guns," behind the scenes in just months, politicians have been working overtime to limit and remove your right to bear arms. These laws all started as a reaction to tragic shooting last year in Parkland, Florida, and every shooting since then, they have been sped up. And the politicians always do. They are not letting these tragedies go to waste. In fact, it's gotten so hard and so out of control that one congressman thinks that it may be nothing we can do to stop the gun grabbers from abolishing the Second Amendment. Yes, there is. In case you people don't know that don't read the damn Constitution, there's a thing in there called the Marbury versus Madison. And in it, it says, any law that is repugnant to the Constitution, such as trying to pass the firearm laws, they are null and void. The Second Amendment is part of the Constitution. That little book says you can't touch it. If you look in the Second Amendment, what does it say? Shall not be infringed. There is no subparagraph A, B, C, or D which would stipulate what an acceptable infringement would be. So therefore there are none, and they are forbidden from passing firearm laws. It's beyond the scope of their authority granted with the enumerated powers. Now, Representative Adam Kinzinger, Republican in Illinois, told reporters this week there is a political movement brewing in the U.S. to overturn the Second Amendment in its entirety. Americans would no longer have a right to keep and bear arms. Well, that certainly sounds like the United Nations to me. Despite seeing the writing on the wall, he's on board with much of the Republicans' base at the support. He's in support of red flag laws. Well, that's unconstitutional there. Okay, citizens who were targeted by these laws will be deemed guilty first, and only after their guns are taken will they have a chance to defend themselves in court. The Constitution doesn't say that. It's a de facto removal of due process and anything in history that we use to disarm those who disagree with the state. Now let's get down here. I'm not going to read all this stuff because you people can go read this yourself and interpret it the way you want to. I know, bear with me, people. Just bear with me. Like I said, these people do not have the authority to pass these laws. They want your guns, they want you disarmed because they want control. They want a Democrat dictatorship is what they want. I guess that passed what I was looking for. Yeah, there's no limit to how far politicians will go to disarm the public. Every single year, Republican and Democrat alike pass increasing bits of legislation which continue to erode your rights to self-defense inch by inch. The state is taking a mile, and they continue to move faster and faster. Like true politicians talking out the side of their mouth, said these red flag laws and gun restrictions are necessary to appease the gun grabbers because they need to see that something is being done to take your guns, or they will go after the entire amendment. We have to make society differences and changes. Attitudes are turning so much against the Second Amendment that the thing that we risk is that there will be a serious movement not to just create restriction, but to overturn the whole amendment. Now, I got news for you. Try it. Right now, by the way, your freedom of religion is protected by the First Amendment. If we begin to start to repeal the Bill of Rights, who knows where this whole thing will end up. Yeah, what this guy is saying is they've got to appease the Democrats. Well, no, you don't. You've got to appease the citizens of the United States. You took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. If you're not going to do so, walk off the job. Get out of Dodge. Yeah. Their attitudes are changing so much against the Second Amendment that the thing we risk is that there's going to be a serious movement not to just create restrictions, but to overturn the whole amendment. Okay, you see where they're going with this? They're out of control. They want your firearms. The United Nations wants your firearms. I'm going to tell you this, people, and you better get this through your head. If you do not get the United Nations off of our soil this year, you're going to lose all your rights. It's a socialist organization. It's a communist organization. It was given to you by rich, powerful men under the guise of peace. And through such things, they can pass laws and treaties to disarm you. That's what the United Nations is about. Rockefeller brought them people in here. Him and his socialist buddies. So wake up out there, people, before everything is gone. Your Constitution, your country, and welcome to the Democrat dictatorship. Okay, well, I'll put a link to this. You people go check it out and watch your back.